I'm Cathy Thomas. Celebrity chef Amar Santana has opened his third restaurant in Orange County, the Hall Global Eatery at South Coast Plaza. Today he'll share his Eggless Bearnaise sauce. It's a delicious player with everything from chicken to scallops to steak. Amar, eggless Bearnaise? Eggs are classic in Bearnaise.
But why not? Why not try something new and different?
I'm ready.
Especially nowadays that people want to go healthy and no eggs, no butter. So I'm like, why not think of something and come up with something different? It's basically an emulsion. And what brings the whole emulsion together is reduced chicken stock. So we have a chicken demi-glaze, just a nice chicken stock reduced down until it gets nice and thick like this. This is what made me fall in love with cooking. When I started cooking in high school, they were reducing chicken stock and making demi-glaze, and I was tasting, and I was like, how come this tastes so salty, so rich, and tastes like 20 chickens squeezed down into a teaspoon? So that's one of the flavor profile that made me fall in love with cooking when I started. So we had 2 cups of white wine vinegar, 2 cups of white wine.
You've got the acidity there.
Oh, you have to. And then to impart more flavor, we're just gonna add a bunch of tarragon. 2 teaspoons of turmeric. So this is gonna give it the color that you get when you make Bearnaise sauce using, the egg yolks. We have some shallots. And the good thing about the sauce is very versatile. You could use it with seafood, poultry, meat. I mean, this is endless. You could use it in, vegetable dishes and stuff like that. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
So now we're gonna reduce it down onto almost sec. In the cooking world, sec means almost dry.
You got a great reduction there, chef.
It smells so good in here. I mean, the tarragon, the aroma, everything.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is remove the tarragon right now. We're gonna add some chicken reduction, or chicken demi, chicken glace. So many names for the same thing.
And home cooks can buy this at Bristol Farms. It's sold frozen.
They do. But it's one of those things that's so easy to make. Just some chicken stock reduced down until you get a nice deep amber color. There's a lot of gelatin. There's a lot of protein in this, and this is what helps the emulsion stays together. So another thing that I noticed making this recipe is that you could make a version of mayonnaise also without using the eggs.
Oh, sure.
Just by using the same reduction, instead of using turmeric, you just leave it like that and then emulsify the oil into it, so you get a spread that just looks just like mayonnaise.
It would be delicious.
It'd be delicious. This is the fun part. So we're gonna turn this one on. So it's gonna drizzle the oil little by little just to get that emulsion going. And as you see, when you start the emulsion start happening, the color gets a little lighter. So you can hear from the sound how we have an emulsion already. And then just like the typical Bearnaise sauce, we're just gonna finish it up with a little bit of lemon juice.
It's interesting that you add lemon juice when you have all of that reduction.
Because you want that freshness. So we add a little Tabasco, a little salt, chopped tarragon. So there we have it. I'm just gonna sear some scallop with this sauce, and it's gonna be amazing. A little pepper, salt, just a little bit. Another thing in the restaurant, we do 1% solution to salt the water. We soak it for 10 minutes. When you see your scallops, sometimes you see a lot of water coming out of them. So by grinding it a little bit, nothing comes out. The same thing goes with salmon. You soak the salmon in salt water before you cook it, pat it dry. You don't get the albumin, that white stuff coming out of the side of the salmon. It's not bad, but it's not appealing when you're trying to make a fancy dish and make it look good on the plate.
And the texture's better too.
Absolutely, yeah. Always sear the scallop on one side. Since we're using a lot of tarragon in the sauce, we're just gonna baste it with a little butter and tarragon as well, just to get more of that flavor in there. So we got beautiful, nice seared scallop. This is the best part. And this is when, the guests, when they come to the restaurant, they're like, oh my God, this is so pretty, I don't even wanna eat it. I was like, but I made a gift for you to eat it, so. We have this beautiful pea shoots.
It's just beautiful, and I know it's going to be delicious. I have a new way to make Bearnaise.
There you go.
Here's a quick tip from Melissa's. There's a big debate about what we should eat to make us healthy. One thing we all agree on, we should eat more leafy greens. Bok choy fills that bill, and there are inventive ways to make it delicious. Try roasting it on high heat, and you'll be so happy. Start by cutting each bok choy, and I'm doing kind of baby bok choy, and I cut them in half lengthwise, and then put them in a big bowl of water and swish them around, and then put them on a clean kitchen towel to drain. So now I just want to drizzle them with some oil, and I'm using extra virgin olive oil. And nice clean hands are the best way to toss. On to a rimmed baking sheet in a single layer. It makes the leaves crisp, almost potato chip-like. This is going to go into a preheated 450-degree oven for 15 minutes. And then I'm going to turn them over. I like a little light ginger sauce to go on top. So we're going to make that while they're in the oven. So we want to start with 1/3 cup of soy sauce, and then about 3.5 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 1 tablespoon to 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. It's up to you. A couple of tablespoons of water. I'm just going to stir that to dissolve the sugar. I want a couple of tablespoons of minced ginger. I usually don't peel it because it really doesn't matter. It's so thin and it doesn't take away from anything unless you want it for appearance purposes. In goes the ginger. This is really kind of a universal sauce. It's wonderful for dipping if you're doing dumplings, and it's just delicious, poured over roasted vegetables. 15 minutes in the oven. Look at, they're beautifully caramelized and the leaves are crunchy. Now I'm going to put on a little kosher salt, and this is going to go back in the oven for 5 minutes. Ah, beautiful. Look at that. Okay. I want a base that's going to soak up some of that ginger sauce. So a little cooked rice, and now the bok choy. Can you hear how crisp those leaves are? They kind of crackle. The ginger sauce. Bok choy at its best, sweet and delicious with different textures from base to leaf. If you want to add some protein to this dish, simply garnish with some cooked shrimp or chicken. The produce aisles are filled with so many delicious choices. Try something new, have an adventure,